This episode is sponsored by BVI Yacht Sales, our boat broker friends from Tortola and Annapolis. Go to bviyachtSales.com to have a look at all the cool boats they have listed right now, or if you happen to find your dream boat somewhere else, they can be your buyer's broker. In any case, they will make sure you get a great boat for the best price, and I promise you that you will learn a ton in the process. They are a big fan of our boat shopping episodes here on the Quarterdeck podcast, where we pick apart the listings from BVI Yacht Sales, among other brokers, talk about boat shopping, and generally nerd out over boats. BVI Yacht Sales, we love you guys, and thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of the show. Welcome to the Quarterdeck Sailing Podcast with Andy Schell and August Sandberg, a podcast by 59 North. How is your mates? Welcome back to the podcast. It is time for another boat shopping episode. Andy and myself are taking a look at a boat for sale, and we will dissect the boat and the listing. Of course, if you are a Quarterdeck member, you will have access to the video version of this podcast, and you can watch the pictures of this boat and study the listing along with Andy and myself. Quarterdeck members also get to provide listings for us to analyze. If you're not yet a member, go to quarterdeck.59-north.com and sign up. You could snatch a 2-week free trial and watch this and tons of other videos for free. Fair winds and following seas to you, my friend, and hold fast. All right, we're back for another boat shopping episode. Man, Andy, I've been looking forward to this a lot. Good to see you again.
Great to see you, Skipper. Yeah, me too. Been excited. Had a great summer on Spica, but ready to get back in action now. Yes. This is basically the first thing I'm doing in the office, so this is great.
Pretty much, yeah. We haven't really seen too much to each other after the holidays, but yeah, no, it's been very good. I haven't done that much sailing as you have, sadly, but I did go to this pirate exhibit at Kristiansand in the south of Norway, where I got to sail on a pirate ship a little bit with the boys. So that was good. Scratched my itch. So, but no, very ready to get back to it.
That's a perfect segue because the boat you have for us today basically is a pirate ship.
It is, yes, for sure. And I think this is going to be a fun one. I put this in our chat and you said that it was a controversial pick, I believe. So excited about that. And right, we will do the big reveal here for you guys. What we're looking at today is a 1987 Gozzard 36, and she does indeed look like a pirate ship. So,
I love it. I love it.
Here she is. I love this. I think this looks great. But before we get into our subjective thoughts about this boat, I will go ahead and just read what the broker says about the boat right here. So, here we go. Designed by Ted Gozzard and built to exacting standards, the Gozzard 36 has long been respected as a serious offshore cruising sailboat. With a full keel design, protected rudder, and heavy displacement hull, she offers a comfortable motion at sea and excellent tracking in a wide range of conditions. This is a boat that inspires confidence when the weather turns and rewards patience on long passages. Was that like a nice way of saying that the boat is slow? Was that it? That's a good.
I was gonna save that for the broker BS section, but you hit me right on the head there. Yeah, I love that.
That's excellent. So it reminds me of something funny I read the other day. Of like somebody described something as being like an interesting use of free will. Or something like that. When describing like just something stupid, which I thought was a very nice way of phrasing that. So
this is like the perfect. When we say broker BS, this is it right here. This is the perfect example of that, and it's so funny. And I'm reminded, Forbes, a friend of ours in Annapolis, he we used to joke because he said something once talking about a boat he was listing that she briefly rested on the bottom, which basically meant that it sank in the slip. Briefly rested on the bottom. It's like so good. I love it.
Really nice. Right, okay, so back on track here. Rewards patience on long passages. Below deck, the interior is warm, practical, and exceptionally well thought out for a boat of this size. The layout features a forward double berth, a convertible salon table that creates a second double, and a generous aft single berth that serves as an excellent sea berth. With 6'2" of headroom, ample storage, and quality woodwork throughout, she feels solid and welcoming rather than cramped. The galley and systems reflect a clear focus on liveaboard cruising. Recent upgrades include a new refrigeration compressor and plate in 2025 and a high-output water maker producing over 20 gallons per hour. On deck, she's set up for easy short-handed sailing with roller-furling sails, a well-protected cockpit, and a conservative sail plan. The mast, standing rigging, and hull-mounted chain plates were replaced in 2015, and the north sails inventory remains in good conditions. Ground tackle is robust with a Rockna primary anchor, rebuilt Lumar windlass, and ample chain and rode for comfortable anchoring. Power comes from Westerbreek 55D, installed new in 2015 with approximately 1,200 hours and extensive drivetrain updates. A strong electrical system with solar, inverter, charger, Firefly AGM house bank, and a Honda generator supports life off the grid. The Gozzard 36 is not a dockside showpiece. She is a capable, honest cruising boat for sailors who value quality, reliability, and thoughtful upgrades. A boat ready to be lived aboard and sailed with confidence.
There's another one. Not a dockside showpiece.
Yeah, that's another one, which I feel is more to the point. But yeah, I mean it's another way of saying that the boat is ugly. Maybe, I don't know. It's
Well, we should go back here. This boat is being listed at $52,000. So we're also not talking about a major investment here. So that's what we're looking at.
Yes, that is true. So yeah, that is what they are selling us here. This is listed by BVI Yacht Sales, and she is currently in Luperón in the Dominican Republic. And have you been there, Andy?
Not to Luperón, but I've been to the Dominican Republic. Yes, this was the place that I'm sure I told you the story, where we went into this small little bay on the south side of the island, and there was like this conspicuous big shallow area marked on the chart.
Oh, yeah.
That actually wasn't there, and it was like a conspiracy that the government had created with this local super yacht marina to try to discourage big boats from going into the town harbor and come out to their fancy new marina. And the local agent we had told us about this, and then we went over. It was like a 4-foot spot, like smack in the middle of this narrow channel. And when we went over it on the way out, we never saw less than like 40 feet. So It was a big conspiracy.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I've been in there. I ducked in there once. We had some really bad weather coming, and just ducked in there. Didn't plan to go there at all, and sort of managed to get in there in the perfect darkness with no charts or nothing. And then, as we woke up in this bay the next day, it was just like a kind of shipwreck town ghost. There's like masts sticking out of the water, and like wrecks lying on the beach, and it was. It was not a great place to see then. I mean, this was in 2011, so things might have changed, but probably because it's such a good like hurricane hole that people just left their boats there for a little too long.
Yeah, and you see that a lot in the good hurricane holes in the Caribbean. I mean, no matter where you go, like Antigua, same thing. Back in English Harbor, there's always a couple masts sticking up out of the water, or boats rotting in the mangroves, that haven't been seen in a long time, right next to all the super yachts. It's a very strange contradiction.
Yeah, that's true. So should I go on now and tell a little bit about the who made this boat?
Yeah, so let's we haven't done these boat shopping things in a while. So basically, before we get started, we want to look at what are we reviewing? Who designed it, who built it, what's the brief history of the boat, what's the historical context? I think you said this boat was from the 80s,
80s,
1987.
87, same,
And
just as old as I am.
I gotta say, that's a perfect age then, aging like a fine wine. I gotta say that this boat and the one we're doing on the next episode is very nostalgic for me because these are the boats that like when I was a kid, my dad and I would always look at and be like, "Oh man, that is such a cool boat!" Like specifically the Gozzards, these kind of like piratey looking boats. I really loved as a kid. And back then, it was like these were like high end, expensive, nice boats. And it's not that it's not that anymore, but they're just a lot older now. So I have to say this is quite nostalgic for me to actually go through this. I think it's really cool.
Very nice. Yeah. It's not that nostalgic for me. You don't really find these boats here in Scandinavia at all.
No.
So so I don't have a lot of like personal experience with these. Although there's a few that's come over. So but yeah, no, I haven't a lot of experience with these, and these are not the boats that I was looking at when I was a kid. But I do love them. I do love them. And yes, so the Gossard 36 is designed and built by Ted Gossard. He was a British yacht designer and boat builder. He was born in 1933, and he was born and raised in England. And he started out as a carpenter. And he earned his journeyman papers in boat building, masonry, and carpentry. So it was like a proper tradesman. Here, which I like. He also served in the Royal Air Force for a while as an airframe mechanic. That might possibly have been during maybe during the war or something. No, he was a little young then maybe. But yes, he's worked with airplanes as well. And then after that, he went sailing full time with his wife and their two boys. So they sailed around the Caribbean for 2 years. So far in the history of Ted Gossard, we just have like the makings of the ideal yacht designer in my mind. He's got like the trades background. He's done it. He's been out there, sailed himself. And he eventually moved to Canada and he started Bayfield Boatyard. So the Bayfields were produced there and designed by him. Quite a few ones of those.
They look very similar to the Gozzards as well. That same sort of pirate ship style.
Yes. And then he sold Bayfield in 1981, and then he started Gozzard Yachts then in Ontario, and made all these different Gozzards. And it turned into like a proper family business. After that, both of his boys joined the company, and his wife sort of managed the accounts and stuff, and so yeah, proper family business. And I'm just the more I read about this guy, the more I like him. He like refused to use computers, and like designed the boat by carving wooden hulls out of like slabs of wood.
Wow,
it's just amazing.
Wow, another era.
Yeah, completely. And yes, and then the 36 specifically, sort of in the middle of their range back then, and it was designed to comfortably cruise with 2 people anywhere, which is like just the standard design brief, right? That every single boat in the world is built by, and yeah, so that's sort of the background of the designer and the boat, and from what I can tell from the reading reviews and what people think about these boats who've sailed them a lot, is that they like the craftsmanship is just excellent, and like the joinery and the interior and all the woodwork's really good. And that kind of makes sense, right? When you have a carpenter as the designer, and it's all being built in-house, right? It's designed in-house and it's been built right there. And I can imagine Ted being up in everyone's business and making sure that every detail is done perfectly down to the last little fitting. So
I mean, this is like one of those. This is basically a wooden boat built out of fiberglass.
Yeah, that's a good way of saying it. Yep, that's exactly true. And Yeah, it's I think that reflects in the boat also as well. You can kind of, if you think about the film industry where that used to be my world, you have these films that are like made where a director has been sort of the main person leading the whole thing throughout, from like wrote the script, done the shooting, been in the editing room, all that. There's a certain character that you get from films that are that way, that it's hard to get when projects are passed back and forth, because you kind of smooth out the edges a little bit. There are good things that happened in that process as well. So I would say like the best and the worst movies are made by these very involved directors who's kind of done the whole project from
I
start
see.
to
That
finish.
makes sense. Yeah, yeah, sure. Cool. That
So
makes
you
sense.
know, a second opinion can be valuable, right? But I think yeah, I think it really shows that this is the character of the boat here. That has been there's been a single mind controlling this from the start.
Cool. Well, should we move on to the categories? Category
Yes.
number one, the dock walk. What are the first impressions from the listing? So this is the visual and tactile category. Imagine you're walking down the dock and seeing the boat for the first time. And I'll start us off here, August, because the first thing I texted you when you said, "This is my choice," I think I said, hang on, I'm going to find the text here. I said, controversial. I, in all caps, hate a clipper bow. So
You did say that. You did say that. Yeah.
that is quite clearly the first thing you notice when you look at this listing and when you're going to walk down the dock. And what I mean by a clipper bow is this kind of curving part of the bow, a long bowsprit. You got this big dolphin striker here. That's the small little spreader bar that comes off the bow and helps with the angle on the bobstay, which is the stay that connects the bowsprit to the hull of the boat underneath and takes the load from the headstay. And that is, I mean, that's also what makes the boat look so much like a pirate ship. I mean, that's basically a pirate ship bow. It was called a clipper bow. Incidentally, I mean, I guess I'm going to answer my own question. Is it called a clipper bow because that's what a clipper ship had?
Huh. Maybe. I don't know. It could be.
Because I was just in Orland this summer with Axel, and there's the Palmern, which is one of the original Cape Horn clipper ships, as a museum ship there, and you can walk around. It's in the water, it's floating, but they built like a dock all the way around it, so you can walk all the way around it, and you can stand right underneath this. You know, this thing has an enormous steel bowsprit with a dolphin striker that's big as my house. Like, it's crazy, but it's the same style bow. And this is like very, very, very much a design choice that I do not like. And I wonder if my dislike of it was influenced by Woodwind, because when Woodwind was built, the schooners we have in Annapolis now, they have what's called a spoon bow, or like a John Alden style bow, where it's a very beautifully curved, almost a plumb bow, but with a nice curve to it, and then a bowsprit coming off of that with a bobstay. But there's no dolphin striker on the thing, and it's just a lot cleaner. There's a lot going on in this clipper bow. It's very ornamental, and you either love it or hate it. And I'm not a fan. I gotta say, I'm not a fan. What do you think about the clipper bow?
I love it. I think it's great. I do love those kind of ship vibes. Because that's what we all want to sail, right? We all want to sail just like a big old pirate ship. That's the dream, right? Or maybe that's just me. I won't talk for everybody. But,
I mean, well, this is what I said before. When I was a kid, 100%, I loved this. When I was a kid, I loved the boat like this. It was like the coolest thing ever. And I gotta admit that, like, in context of the big picture, I kind of do. It fits the boat. It looks right on this boat. Just generally speaking, I'm no longer a fan of the clipper bow.
Right. Yeah, I can. That's fine. That's all good. They definitely lean into it like heavily here, but I mean both in the design and also in the ad. Like this is the first picture of the boat. You can see her from like the front. This just looks absolutely massive. And also on this bow, there's these like ornamental little piece here with like some drawing, almost like a figurehead
Yeah.
underneath the bowsprit, and yeah, no, they are definitely leaning into this. But no, I think it looks great, and it's also has a lot of advantages, right? You get the anchor very far away from the hull. I mean, maybe even a little bit too far. I mean, I can imagine this like bouncing around in the seaway. There's a lot of weight on the end of that bowsprit. But I mean, this is gonna cleave through waves, right, and push them aside, absolutely no problem. And
They don't call it a dolphin striker for nothing.
yeah, that's true. That's true. And standing up here on the edge of that bowsprit and watching those dolphins getting stabbed. I mean, that's as the sun sets, it's beautiful. So
It is extraordinarily romantic. Like this is
yes,
like the image
yes,
of the South Seas. Like this is it. Imagine you're, like you said, standing on the end of that bowsprit. The waves are going underneath you. I mean, this is it. This is that romantic image. So I mean, I can
totally.
get behind it. I don't like the way it looks, but like I love the whole concept. I mean, this kind of goes hand in hand with, I don't even know what they call it, but on the stern of the boat, you got that piratey looking handrail, teak handrail thing at the back. Like those two
Oh yeah.
design things, usually you see them together, where you've
Hmm.
got that taffrail, whatever you want to call it. I mean, look at that wooden ship's wheel. They got
We
the
got
whole
a real
the
wooden
whole
ship's wheel
pirate
here.
aesthetic here. I got to say, holding that ship's wheel, we have a wheel very similar to that on Spica with the spokes that are like inside the rim of the wheel. And Axel was very sad that we have the spokes on the inside, because on Palmer and the big clipper ship, the spokes are on the outside. Like he's like, it's a real pirate ship if the spokes are on the outside. And I was like, Axel, yes, but lines tend to get hung up on those spokes on the outside, so it's better that they're on the inside.
Very true. Very true. I do agree with Axel, though. I do think it looks better when they're on the outside. But yeah, no, full pirate wheel here, definitely. And see if we have some pictures to that. Not
It's hard.
really.
No, I looked through. It's hard to see it from another angle, but you have that taffrail sort of railing thing that looks like it complements the clipper bow.
Yes.
I'll say too, if you want to flip, let's go back to okay, a couple things I noticed when you're flipping through here. It mentioned in the thing, roller furling sails. It appears it had a mast replacement, so it's got a roller furling mainsail and roller furling jib and staysail. This is also a true cutter. We can come back to what that means, but it's got that long bowsprit that allows you to have your head sail on the very end, a staysail, and it's designed to be sailed with all three sails at the same time. So a true cutter as opposed to a sloop with an inner forestay. I also can't help but notice, back to the pirate vibe, those not one but two butterfly hatches on deck, which just like makes me a little bit weak.
Look at that. Yeah.
Not just with all the varnish, but the fact that they notoriously are not so watertight. I also notice, if you look at the one picture, that picture you're on now, the butterfly hatch, there is a track. This is forward of the mast. This is on the foredeck, for a self-tacking. That staysail can be self-tacking. That's what that track is for. So I noticed that. Notice that there's, like, despite the wooden wheel and the all the wood on the butterfly hatches, there's no teak decks, which is a good thing. You've got this Halbergrassi style hard windshield that incorporates the canvas Dodger and Bimini into it. That's pretty cool. Fold down swim platform. If you keep flipping through those photos, that's like, for a boat from the 80s, that was probably a big deal, because that they didn't, boats back then didn't have this as much, particularly these traditional boats. So that's kind of a cool little practical flourish. And then we'll get to the living arrangements, but my God, when you go to the photos of inside the boat, like I said at the top here, it's a wooden boat built out of fiberglass, but it's a wooden boat in the interior. I mean, wow, it's like really nice. I mean, you said it too, really nice, and we'll come back to the details, but really unique. I've never seen a layout quite like this, especially on a 36-footer. And I just came off a Spica, which is also 36 feet, and this boat is twice as big on the inside. So I love the interior, and I remember going on these boats at boat shows as a kid, that we always used to like to go on the Gozzards because the interiors were so cozy. So really, really, really beautiful interior, and just classic, classy. Again, feels like you're inside of a pirate ship.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really really cool. Reminds me a lot of the CT-56
Yep.
or Scorpio 72 that Bob Perry designed. Also, the same kind of with the clipper bow and the same pirate ship vibes. Um, I wonder if they were inspired by each other somehow.
Well, that was definitely a thing back in the 80s, I guess, that there were, I mean, Cabo Rico looked like this, had a similar design, similar
Mm,
interior. That this was like a trend. It wasn't that was just Gozzard. There were lots of boats like this. I mean, the boat from the movie Captain Ron, which was a what was that called? A Formosa 56. Very similar to the CT, like these kind of big pirate ship looking boats with all the flourishes.
mm.
This is like old school architecture. Like boats are so modern boats are so sterile in comparison. It's just like what have we done here? Why can't we build boats with character anymore? And this
Yeah,
is
yeah,
loaded with character.
yeah. Totally, totally. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Also, on the topic of character, her name's Cottonwood. Is that I think that's a tree. Is that right?
It's a
Type
tree,
of
and it's
tree?
also the first thing that comes to mind to me is skiing, because in Utah there's a place called Cottonwood Canyon where a lot of the ski resorts are in Utah, and it's known for very good snow. So I wonder if there was some connection to that with the owners of this boat.
Cool. Very nice. I like the name. It's a cute, sort of non pretentious name. I think
Hmm.
that's nice. And
It doesn't,
I
yeah, it doesn't stand out. Easy to spell, easy to say on the radio. What's your
yeah.
take, by the way, on boat names? Are you like in changing a boat name? Because that's generally considered bad luck, like bad superstition.
Ah, yes. I mean, man, that's a tough one for me because I am a traditionalist and a superstitious sailor as well, and I do not like changing the name of a boat. Um, but there's so many horrible, terrible boat names out there, and I think the name is so important that I think I mean, you just gotta pick the lesser of two weevils on that one because it's yeah, no, changing the name is bad. Having a bad name is worse. I'd
Yeah,
say.
it's my I 100% agree with you, and I think the problem with like not changing a boat name unless you buy the boat new, or like almost every brokerage boat will have had the boat name changed already by someone else. And it's sometimes hard to track back to what was the original boat name. So it's kind of like it's one of those things. Well, you're not the one that broke the superstition in the first place, so just go with it.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. I do feel it gets worse the more times it's been changed. Like
Yeah.
I think. But no, I like to keep the name if I can, but I also yeah, I like a good name. I like a good boat name. And this is a good one, I think. And I really like the way that BVI Yacht Sales on their site. If you kind of go to the overview of all their listings, they put the name up there, like at the very
Mm,
top.
yeah.
It's a little bit like I don't know. I like that. It shows that they kind of that makes me feel like they care about the boats in a way. It's almost like if you're looking at like I don't know to adopt a dog or something. You have like these little and to put the names up there. I don't know. That's
I
pretty
I love
nice.
it. I'm in.
Mm.
Totally. I'm with you. I like that. I hadn't actually thought of that, but I noticed it, but I didn't really consciously notice it. I like that. Um, Last thing on my bullet points here for Dock Walk is cool factor. We added that. So what would you say? Let's just rank this on a scale of 1 to 10. 10 being like the coolest boat you've ever seen. One being like a total garbage scowl. What's a cool factor for you on this boat?
I like it, man. I would put it at an 8.
An 8.
I
So
think
if
so.
Eastbjorn is a 10, this is an 8.
I think so. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I'm not
It's
going that
just
high. I'm going 6.
yeah.
It's slightly better than median.
Yeah, there's just something very like I don't know, like unapologetic about this, and just
It's
just
true.
like so bold, and because I think part of this is the size of the boat. Like it's not a huge boat; it's
No.
36 feet, and I think like putting a massive clipper bow on such a small boat, or trying to pull off that pirate ship vibe on such a small boat, just kind of it's just adorable, and it's just great. I think it's yeah,
A for effort. I love it.
for
All
sure,
right.
for sure.
Next category, design DNA. What do the specs tell us and what do they not tell us? So we're talking about length overall, beam, displacement, all the ratios, sailor displacement, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The thing that stood out to me the most when I looked this boat up on Sailboat Data, my favorite website,
Here we
and
go.
I'm calling bullshit on this. It has the sail area displacement listed at 20.3, which is either a miscalculation or they're counting differently or something, because that's insane. I mean, that's like
Yeah,
Falcon's sail area displacement. Like, I don't buy that whatsoever, and it directly contradicts, that broker BS of she rewards patience on long passages. And like this boat weighs 30, what does it weigh? 18,000 pounds displacement. My
mm,
36 footer weighs 11,000 pounds.
yeah.
Like this is that I've often said that sail area displacement is the most important number when looking at how a boat is going to perform, and something's fishy about that.
Yeah, I don't think that makes a whole lot of sense. It's probably the calculations who's gotten messed up. If it is a I mean, it is with her being like a true cutter like this. I mean, look at the angle of that forestay in the picture here. There's a lot of like you can fit a lot of sail area in there.
Hmm.
But I'm not sure how that's counted.
Yeah, it's a good question. That's a very good question. I mean, you're right. I mean, we talked about it being a true cutter. If you look at this picture here, what that means is basically the mast is much further aft relative to the sail plan. So you have a mast more in the middle of the boat. They typically have bowsprits. They don't have to. That bowsprit allows you to get a big gap between the Genoa and the staysail. You got your little self-tacking staysail there. So I mean, it's true cutters are few and far between nowadays. I mean, it's a desirable thing. It's a great rig for ocean cruising.
Mm, yeah, for sure. But yeah, no, I mean, whether that number is correct or not, she's not going to be as as fast or as like overpowered as that number
No.
suggests.
And I
I
mean,
don't think.
she's got 4 foot 9 inch draft, like right off the bat. Phenomenal Bahamas boat. This is a great Bahamas boat, shallow draft, but also with a full keel, attached rudder, and that shallow of a draft. She's, I'm curious what her tacking angles would look like.
Yeah, probably not great. You'll notice here also at that the chain plates are mounted on the hull, so that reduces your sheeting angles greatly. Um, and yeah, no, she's not going to do well going upwind, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean they're going for the pirate ship vibe, like not just in aesthetic, but also in performance.
It's got be being unable to sail to windward. Yeah,
Yeah.
cool, cool. Yeah. Um, so let's see here. What else we got? Yeah, quite like the good ballast ratio. I'd say like
37%, I think it said, ballast to
yeah,
displacement.
that's not bad. She was described as stiff on some of the reviews that I read, which I can't believe that.
Hull speed here of 7.2 knots, so that's your theoretical maximum hull speed. We talk about this a lot, the pounds per square inch of immersion. So that's like, I think the higher that number, the more load carrying capacity she has, which makes sense because this is a heavy boat. She's not going to notice the weight as much.
Yeah, you can tell that from these numbers, and also from the fact that she's got like a tiled heads. So you're not worried about weight if you put tiles in your boat.
Do we have anywhere in here like like this boat's, you know, promoted as a real cruising boat? Do we have anything on the tankage? Like what is how long are you going to be living off the grid?
Yes, we do actually. I found it at the at Gozzard's at their own site. They're still in business. So here we go. these are so water capacity 60 gallons, waste capacity 50 gallons, and
That's
fuel 40 gallons.
surprisingly little. I would have guessed it would have been more.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, she does this one. This one does have a water maker, so that helps. But yeah, no, that's right. You would think that she would have could have a lot of tankage, but
So this is interesting. Go back up to the specs here. This is straight off of Gozzard, and this is where boat listings can be confusing and misleading, and also sailboat data is also misleading. You've got on sailboat data, it says the LOA length overall 36 feet, and looking at that long clipper bow, I'm like, that has to not be included in the length in like the specs. And sure enough, right here, length overall, this is actually a 42-foot boat with that giant bowsprit. Length on deck is 36 feet 9 inches, because it doesn't like with that big ass bowsprit. If the whole boat was 36 feet, it just looks too big. So this is a bigger boat than it is kind of listed as. It's a little bit deceiving.
yeah, for sure. And if you get down to like waterline length, that's 29 feet,
Yes.
right? So it's yeah, no, it's got these massive overhangs do kind of mess with these formulas a little bit.
Yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, there we go. I don't think she probably sails well. That's what I've read from people too. But I mean, you're not going to go to windward very well. That's just not gonna. That's not.
Well, gentlemen don't sail to windward. August, get with the picture.
Yeah, well, that is true. But are there any gentlemen left these days?
All right, this next category, life aboard. What's it actually like to own, use, and live with this boat? And we should look at the interior here, because this is where it's like I do think that this boat is gonna. If you look on the the sliding scale between sailability and livability, this is heavily weighted towards livability. I think this would be a very cool boat to live on.
Yes, I agree, and I think you can tell from this specific boat that's how it's been as well. That's how it's being used. You can see we have this massive barbecue here on the side of the cockpit, and I noticed at the helm station here we got a dedicated little hook for fly swatters. It's like this boat's not like getting when you decide to put up a hook here for a fly swatter. You're not doing a terrible amount of sailing compared to just hanging out.
That's a fun little anchor. Detail you noticed there. I missed that, I have to admit.
So, but yeah, let's move down into the companionway.
Well, I can tell you right off the bat that those butterfly hatches, while they may look nice, they are going to be a pain in the ass to live with, because they're going to leak and they're going to require varnish.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that is true. So we come down here. This is the interior. Here we can see this this bathroom, proper like shower right down to port as we come down the companionway here, and we can see we can already just from the companionway we can see all the way up forward into the bow, or like where the V berth would have been if there was a V berth on this boat. So yeah, you can kind of see the whole length of the boat.
It's cool. I mean, it's going to make the boat feel much bigger on the interior, because it's effectively one giant cabin.
Yeah, that's right. And here it is. I mean, this is just a beautiful. We're in the kind of forepeak area now. So instead of like a separated V berth, we have this nice kind of double V couch in there. With
this is like the pirate saloon right here. This is like where you're going to sit around and talk about pirate things.
That's right. Talk about plunder and where to bury your treasure, and I mean, and those butterfly hatches. You got to give it to them. They do look fantastic.
Oh, they're amazing. Sure, just put a tarp over at the top of them.
Yeah, and yeah, really, really cool. Here, this next one, we're looking back from the bow into the boat, and
I love when they do the little mesh sort of. What do you call it? There's a name for that on the locker doors. Instead of having like a solid wood locker door, they have that sort of tan colored mesh, which I think contrasts really nice with the teak wood, but also gives ventilation to the locker. And I just love that look. I think that's so cool.
It looks really good. It reminds me a lot of like the Japanese interiors that we
Yeah,
see in
yeah.
Japan, like how they like it's yeah, no, it looks that looks really really good. Here we can say we do actually have a berth. We can turn this couch arrangement into a berth in the bow.
Have you ever seen a bow like this before?
No, no, never.
I've never either. I've never seen this where they have it. It's basically like a little sitting parlor that then like transformers into a double sort of island bunk. Like now all boats are island bunks like this, but I've never seen one convert like this. I wonder, was this ahead of its time as like a, hey, you can have a walk around island bunk in the forepeak, but also a pirate salon. Like I'd never seen this before. It's really cool.
It is really cool. Apparently, Ted Gossard really hated V berths. So I don't think any of them has that. Any of the Gossards has it, but I love this. I think this is really really nice.
Me too. I'm in. I love it. It's great.
Yeah. And here we got the. Is this a membrane for the water maker?
Looks
I
like it.
wonder?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Who's
Under the
kinda
backrest there.
stuck under the backrest here. And then we also have our regular couch salon area here with the folding table and all of that, and that can be converted into a double berth as well. I believe it said.
Yeah, and it appears to me that that table must fold up against the wall there to close that hole into the forepeak. I think that's probably what, or else there's something that closes that off there. It looks like something closes that off. And there is a door there that's open, I think. So I think you can close that forepeak off. That's my guess.
You can. Okay.
I think so.
Interesting. Yeah. Very cool. All right, so we got the our galley right here. I do agree with you that these kind of paper mesh fronts on the doors look absolutely fantastic.
This is a very nice galley. I like you have the center line sink so it can work on either heel. It's a nice big galley for a 36-footer with a stove there, and it basically takes up like the whole port side of the salon. There's no set. It's like the salon is like off starboard and the galley's kind of on port, but it's like a L-shaped galley and with the aft-facing sink. Very nice looking galley.
Yeah. The other way around though, right? We got the salon on starboard galley.
Oh, yeah, I.
Oh, hang on. What's going on here?
Salon's on starboard, galley's on port.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got confused there for a second.
I often mix up my
right.
port and starboard too, August. It's okay.
I didn't understand where this picture was taken from. But yeah. No, you're right. Yeah, no, nice galley. I just love all the wood in here. It looks great. And I gotta say, like this does look to be holding up quite well.
It's hard to tell with the photos, but I'll agree with you. It does look nice in the photos.
You're right. I mean, compared to if you look at the companionway, you can see that it was quite worn.
Yeah.
I mean, that is where it's that's the worst area most of the time. Yeah, here we go.
Yeah,
that's quite messed up. But yeah, we got our heads here. Not a lot of tiles, but a little bit. We got a
Still kind of like it's no stall shower, but there is a shower in there, as you said. So you're going to get your toilet wet, but that's how boats work. I mean, it's a small boat, so that's what you get.
Yeah, that's right. Companionway here, it's pretty worn. And also, of course, people are dragging salt and wet up and down here.
Yeah.
That's, it looks like to be a little bit of a storage compartment.
Well, I guess
here
that's the
on
quarter
starboard.
berth, because it did talk about having a sea berth aft, and it looks like you're seeing they use that as a garage, and it looks like the top is off of that because you can see into the batteries there.
Well, yeah, that's right. Here we go, sort of behind into the little peek into the electrical systems here.
I would say that
behind the
looks
electrical panel.
more organized than you would expect on a boat from the 80s.
Yeah, I agree. I think this looks very good.
Yeah.
And probably also why they chose to include a picture of that.
Right.
But yeah, no, that does not look bad at all. Neatly organized. Here's our engine, nice and bright and fairly accessible. It looks like
they did a good job of the engine room looks clean. It's clean. I don't know that it's new. We haven't gotten to that yet, but I think it looks nice.
Yeah, you're right. And
Clean.
they got a little light in here, and yeah, pretty like the sump underneath the engine too. It's quite nice. So
Yeah. Dry and
that's
clean.
that's good. Yeah, very good. And here we just got to have a little bit of a schematic.
There's
Yeah.
your full keel.
There's the full keel. It's very
It's not. It's interesting though. It's not. It's not really an attached rudder. It has that. We talked about this before. That kind of brewer bite.
Yeah, that's right.
There's a chunk missing between. It's a rudder that kind of protects the propeller, but there's not. It's not like a classic full keel where the rudder is just on the back of the keel, and the rudder is very far aft. So it's gonna probably behave a little bit nicer than a proper full keel boat around the dock, but
True.
still
Good
not
point.
quite a
Yeah.
fin keel.
Yeah, that's right. It looks like they included like the davits and a little dinghy here on the schematic on the back. That's
Oh yeah,
interesting.
That is interesting.
And there, that is that folding down. They're probably really proud of that, swim platform ladder fold down thing at the back.
Look how full, when you look at the view from a top, though, look how full the bow is on that boat. Like there's, compared to like Falcon has a very sharp, narrow bow. The beam carries way far forward on this boat and far aft. It's a very bulbous looking boat when you look at it from the top down view.
Yeah, very much so. The bowsprit kind of fools you a little bit into thinking that it is a long and sharp boat, but it really is not. That's it, I think.
All right, my favorite category, broker BS. We covered this a little bit already. What is the listing trying to sell us on? I mean, I think it's pretty clear. This is like a classic, inexpensive, less expensive purchase price. There's no such thing as a cheap boat. We all know that. But I actually think that there is a little bit of BS in some of those sentences, but also it's not really trying to hide anything. This is a live aboard, go anywhere cruising boat that, it's already in the Dominican Republic. I think it's fairly accurate.
Yeah, I think so too. I think the rewards patience on long passages is that's just a great phrase.
That is a great line.
And yeah, I mean, I like the honesty here. Like she does write here, the broker, that the Gotham 36 is not a dockside showpiece, which is true.
So here's their thesis. She's a capable, honest cruising boat for sailors who value quality, reliability, and thoughtful upgrades. A boat ready to be lived aboard and sailed with confidence. I would probably agree with that.
Yeah, I would too. I think that's pretty good. I mean, thoughtful upgrades. There is a number of these upgrades are not needs to be upgraded again.
Again, I know.
Right. So we've got where were all these things like the new rigging from 2015 and which needs to be done again. So I mean, I would say there's a bunch of these things that are probably coming up. Depends on like how much the boat's been sailing and what it's been doing. If it's been rotting and sitting at anchor in the Caribbean barbecuing, then
I know that's the problem. I'm sure I've told you this story about the boat I was supposed to deliver from the Pacific side of the Panama Canal over to Fort Lauderdale, and it had been sitting on a mooring for many, many, many years, and like everything was just sun rotten. Like the webbings on the mainsail, just you could tear them in half with your fingers. Everything was just toasted. So this is one of those things where you got to be there to see it. Boats age faster in the Caribbean than they age elsewhere. So I'd like to see, depending on how long this boat's been sitting in the water too, I wonder what the bottom looks like.
Yeah, that is an excellent question. We can't really see much from the pictures. Yeah, no, there's definitely some questions there that I would have liked to run by the broker.
There's a lot. I mean, again, we always say this in the listing. Okay, electronics and navigation, autopilot, Raymarine hydraulic ram. Like, that doesn't tell me anything. Primary chart plotter. Use an iPad for charts at the helm. Radar, Raytheon R20X. That sounds old. Depth sounder, speed and distance, like all this stuff. It's there's no detail in here. Primary VHF radio, secondary direction finder, RDF. That hasn't been used in 40 years.
Oh, well.
Wind direction, wind speed indicator. Like there's nothing. There's no information here. Electrical systems, DC 12 volt, AC 110. House bank. Now, Firefly AGMs, those Fireflies are supposed to be good batteries, but they were installed in 2017, and it's only 116 amp hours each, I think is what that says. So small and old battery bank, lead acid engine start battery, lead acid windlass battery. I think the asking price here reflects the condition and equipment. I mean, there's some good stuff on there. You won't need to buy a new anchor. That Rockna is a good anchor. Chains from 2022, that's probably pretty good. Lumar windlass was rebuilt in 2022, so was it rebuilt well or not? Who knows? But a lot of this stuff, like you say, it's going to be time to replace it again.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah,
all it says about winches, cockpit 4. It's just like one of these. It's just like there's so much that brokers are really good at putting a long list of bullet points down, but when you actually look at the bullet points and read into them a little bit, it doesn't tell you much.
Yeah, no, that is true. Man, I would if I sold my boat, I would just take down the Bimini before I took any photos.
Yeah, I know how you feel about Biminis.
I particularly hate Biminis, but I mean, look, this looks so cramped and messed up underneath this Bimini. I guess it is nice that it has a Bimini. It looks like a full. Does it cover the full cockpit like a proper enclosure? Yeah, it does.
But I'm also wondering, like, if go back to that last picture.
This one?
Is that the the other one? Is that the main sheet in front of and going through the cockpit table?
Huh. Yes.
I'm very curious what that is about. I was looking at that earlier.
Yeah, I mean, where is the Traveler otherwise?
Well, I don't think there is a Traveler. There's another picture here where it looks like it goes to or through the. I need some more information. Like, clearly this boat hasn't been sailed in a while because of that cover, but I wonder if you look at this other picture of the table front on, it looks like there's a winch underneath the table. So that main sheet must go onto that central sort of pedestal there, and that table must come off when you're sailing. Yeah,
look at that. Or it just goes through. That's because there's a hole in the table right here. It just goes down.
But there's a winch under the. If you go to one of the other pictures, it's looking there. That one.
Oh, yeah.
There's a winch under the table, and that vertical post is a boat hook that's just holding up the Bimini. So
yeah, that's right.
So this boat is not being sold as a sailboat. It's more of a liveaboard, I think.
Yeah, I think,
or at least it's been used as a liveaboard.
How it's
recently.
Been used? Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Interesting.
Next two categories go together. What aged the best and what aged the worst?
I would say I think that. Okay, maybe it's actually this. No, I'm going to go with the clipper bow. I think that aged great. I think that looks wonderful. I think it is as cool as it was when you were at your boat shows as 4 years old, and I think stuff like this it's so cool. I love it.
What aged the worst? Actually, I'll do my what aged the best first. I think what aged the best for me. I said right at the top that I hate the clipper bow, and I'm not going to say that specifically, but I think the whole pirate ship vibe, it's almost like how Janko jeans are back in style now. It's just like nobody has a boat like this anymore. They're so rare. You don't see them that often, and it stands out. Like in a crowded anchorage of, charter boats and modern boats, this will be seen. And I think that's, me, August, I like to stand out. And I think as much as I don't really like the vibe of some of this stuff, I think the fact that it stands out and it's trying to be unique, I think that is aged the best for me. And I'm saying that overall, like the same thing, like the interior, that forepeak. If I had to pick one thing specifically, I'd probably say the forepeak. That forepeak, I've never seen anything like it. I think that's so cool.
It looks really great. Looks really great.
And what age the worst?
Um, Maybe it is. I mean, it's maybe it doesn't fit the category perfectly because it's not original, but the rolling furling mainsail.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like them in generally, and it just like it feels wrong on a boat like this. Like you want to sweat a halyard and sing a shanty on this boat. You don't want to, So yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I'd
Mm.
say easily the butterfly hatches. Like, actually, probably literally have aged the worst.
Yeah, yeah, no, you're just that's true. Oh, they
Here's to go
look.
another fun category. What is this boat was built in 87, so what is the most 1987 thing about this boat?
You know what? When I looked at this listing and I saw that it was made in 1987, I felt very old. I feel like it feels like this. I mean, that's maybe not to the boat's credit, but it looks and feels like an older boat. But maybe that's just me turning into an old man here. The most 1987.
I'm going to go with that folding swim platform.
Yeah.
That to me is the most 1987 thing about this boat. It just looks like it's from the 80s. I don't know how else to say it.
It's true. I will go with the fly swatters. That's my
If I
1980s.
rephrase this as what's the most 1887 thing about this boat, you could say the wheel and the clipper bow.
Yes, yes, for sure. Oh, I like they have the compass on just a little like wooden
Yeah,
thing here.
that is cool.
Looks really great. It's a shame about the iPad mount just above there.
Mm. What do you need a compass for when you have an iPad?
Ugh. Ugh. But yeah, I mean, I guess it's just a iPad mount. It's not like they haven't replaced this with a big old chart plotter and ripped
Yeah.
all this out. So that's really good.
Best feature and biggest red flag.
Best feature for me would be, I mean, I just think like the aesthetics is the biggest feature. I mean, it's just this the cool vibes that it gives off. I think is if I were to buy this boat, that's what I would buy it for.
The overall vibe.
The overall cool
Yeah.
vibe. Yeah.
Yep. I'd probably say in the same vein that forepeak. On a 36-foot boat, I love the pirate salon that converts into an island berth. That's awesome, and it's the most unique. Biggest red flag.
I think it is like all of these signs that this boat has not sailed in a very long time. It's being very lived in, and I fear that that could mean that it's a lot of things that hasn't been discovered about problems on the boat. We talked about the bottom, and also maybe the rigging, maybe especially the rigging.
Mm. My biggest red flag is probably just, depending on how you're going to use it, the lack of detail in the listing itself. There's just not a lot of information. Reading between the lines, it tells me that just everything on this boat is old. So you're going to have to probably replace everything if you want to do serious cruising on this boat. But if you want to bounce around the islands in the Bahamas, I mean, you got to remember, like, all that stuff is luxury at some point. But that's a red flag to me. All right, here we go. This is a fun one. Project Creep. If you bought this boat, where does the spending spiral begin?
Yeah. It could be many places. I think like the standing rigging should be replaced probably. And also you mentioned sails, right? That might also be a thing. And also there's like all the bright work here needs work, right? And yeah, and I guess also like you said, we just don't know enough about the boat, right?
I agree. Probably the first thing, if you're gonna say, let's say you're gonna buy this boat in Dominican Republic, you want to sail it back to New England or Chesapeake or whatever, you're gonna probably want to look at that standing rigging. I think that's the first thing that you're gonna start spending money on. I'd agree with you on that. All right. Fantasy or reality? Does the boat fit the dream or the real life of the potential buyer?
I think it does. I think, I mean, if you're if you're gonna just do super long passages and eat miles and sail around the world and stuff, this is not the boat for you. But if you want to be, wear a headscarf and be a sailboat bum in the Caribbean for a year or two, writing your novel on the anchor here while you're barbecuing, yeah, I think there's definitely like I can very easily picture the potential buyer for this boat, and I think they would be happy with this.
Take the screen share away so I can see your face.
Yeah.
This, I actually agree. I think this is a fun one where if your reality is a fantasy, then this is the boat for you.
That's a fantastic description. I love that.
Yeah. This is the perfect fantasy boat. It's a cosplay boat. If you want to cosplay as a pirate, this is it.
Yeah.
But also it's not like a shitty pirate boat. Like it's really, I mean, this you talked about Ted Gozzard. This boat was extremely well built for its time. Like this is way nicer built and way nicer fit out than most of the boats from the 80s that we're going to look at. So I think if you want to be a posh pirate, like, man, this is it. And it's pretty low asking price.
Yeah, that's true. And also, like, if you're like a project person and you wanted to like buy an old boat and restore it, I mean, imagine what you could do with this boat. And I think from what I've heard and read about Ted Gozzard and this yard and his boats, I mean, I think this is built as solid as they come, and
yeah,
you could turn this into a proper gem, I think.
I agree. Yeah. So there you go. Okay. I think we kind of just answered this question. Who is this boat for? It's for the guy who thinks he's a pirate.
Yeah, that's right.
And
or somebody who wants just like a solid foundation to rebuild a classic beauty.
Yeah. For a pretty low asking price.
All
right, August, our final question. Would you buy this boat?
Yes, I would buy this boat.
Are you ever going to answer no to this question? Is there ever going to be a boat listing that you're like, nah, I'm not going to buy it?
I don't know, man. I just like boats. I just love boats. How can I say?
I would not buy this boat. No. I would. My 5-year-old me would have, 100,000% would have bought this boat. But no, I would not buy this boat. Only for the vibe. I used to be a pirate. I still think I'm a pirate, but I guess I'm not really a pirate anymore.
Got it. Well, but that's good. I think that's fine. I think maybe you're gonna answer differently on our next episode.
That's a nice little preview. The next episode, we're gonna be looking at a listing on a boat that I grew up on, not the actual boat, but the same model. And I'm if this episode was nostalgic, the next one's gonna be even more so. So tune in for that.
Very nice. I am looking forward to it. Great.
All right, Skipper. Great to be
Thank
back.
you, Andy. Yes, we're back. Cheers.
Hold fast.
Hold fast.
Could you unlock the... No, sorry.
Oh, that's fine. Actually, you can.
We can pull through.
You can still pull through. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very much for listening, and thanks again to BVI Yacht Sales for sponsoring the show. Find them at bviyachtsales.com. If you want to join the Quarterdeck, go to quarterdeck.59-north.com. The Quarterdeck podcast is produced by August Sandberg for 59 North. Music is by the Storm Weather Shanty Choir. Very good. That's good. That's good, isn't it? Sweet. Let's see here. There is one. Guess we could probably hang on to this course for a little bit, and then we can guide out between these.
Rocks and that too, as well. And
Yeah.